Aha. Do you think Charles Xavier's School for the Gifted would be more or less popular if they just called it Mutant Academy? Alright, so I just finished playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which was a little lacking in instruction. Wasn't a whole lot in terms of, like, here are combos you can do, here are, probably not going to have fatalities like in Mortal Kombat, but any sort of finisher, they just kind of throw you into it and let you button mash. And so I'm wondering if Academy mode here might be a little more helpful with that.
Welcome to X-Men Academy, Wolverine.
Okay, wow. So there's a bunch of little subdivided courses.
You will now learn your standing attacks. If you wish to defeat your opponent, you must learn what attacks you have available.
This is the PlayStation 1 version, so it's got the PlayStation buttons, but I'm using an Xbox controller, so just need to remember that X is not X.
Press light punch. Begin. Excellent.
Okay.
Press medium punch. Begin. Excellent.
So it's a bit slow.
Press hard punch. Begin. Excellent. Press light kick. Begin.
Ugh, this is
Excellent.
quite tedious. But at least I'm learning.
Medium kick. Begin. Excellent. Press hard kick. Begin. Excellent. Great
Whoever's
work.
voicing Professor X
You have
here
completed the standing attack training lesson.
sounds like they're having a great time. I'll even get graded. You get an overall grade when you finish a tutorial. Now that is kind of satisfying.
Just as important as the stand. Press light. Begin.
Oops.
Excellent.
I actually messed that one up because I cannot use the control stick because the PlayStation controller did not have a control stick yet.
Excellent.
Just the D-pad.
Press hard punch while crouching. Begin. Excellent.
Which doesn't feel right for a fighting game like this. They're meant to be done with a joystick on an arcade cabinet.
Excellent.
To reduce that to a D-pad is just,
Press
they're basically just
medium
buttons.
kick while crouching.
You do not get the same
Begin.
natural range of movement there.
Press hard kick while crouching. Begin. Excellent.
Now, that stuff I would have figured out on my own, I think. Throws, probably the shoulder buttons, jumping attack. Now, special attacks I would like to know about.
Here you will learn some special attacks. Follow. Begin.
Basically a Hadoken combo. Am I not?
You are running out of time. You need to be quicker. Unacceptable.
Okay, well, I failed the training lesson. Oh, and they just skip it. Okay.
Begin.
Okay, the timing on this is... So does that not count?
You are running out of time.
I'm honestly confused about how the timing on this is supposed to work.
You need to be quicker.
Let me see. Okay.
Begin.
Is that... And that's not even the right thing?
You are running out of time.
It's... I mean... Like, I'm... Is that... Look, that's the exact...
You need to be quicker.
That's it. Is it just...
Unacceptable.
This is...
You have failed.
Not looking good.
Remarkable.
Not very tenable. Got a D. It says D up top and an F in the middle. Not sure how that works. Let's see if I can do super attacks.
Now you're ready to learn your deadliest attacks. Cerebro will instruct you in the following lesson.
He didn't even voice
Begin.
all of the lines. Grim. Now the different special meters, super meters, are building up
Outstanding.
at different rates. That's interesting. Okay, well...
Begin.
Oh, okay, well I guess that counts. It's not a very satisfying special move. Alright.
Begin.
Okay. Let's build up the third super meter and move the half X's in the meter together by hitting the X button repeatedly. When the super meter is full, the X will come together and allow you to use your most powerful super move. So you have to use the kick button, but pay attention to the meter? That's... Okay. So... Okay. Alright, so when there's... Even if there's not a plus between them, you have to hold down, not just press down. Build power by challenge. Okay, sure. But too fast. Hold down triangle along with left. Now, while holding those buttons down, press circle. Notice that the power from the second super meter transfers to the third super meter. Practice moving energy from one meter to another, and then do your third super move. That is a weirdly complicated system.
Begin.
Yeah, that is baffling.
Excellent.
I don't even know what the move did. Okay. Alright, well, I am... I will try the arcade mode, but not feeling positive about my chances in this game. What's Cerebro mode, though? There's like a DVD menu for the... Oh. Maybe exactly that. Clips from the movie, behind the scenes pics, not scenes. Gotta unlock these by winning an arcade match with every comic character and every movie character. Whew, okay.
Cyclops.
Sure, let's try Cyclops this time. I assume this is going to be some sort of story mode, but Marvel vs. Capcom 2 did not have any sort of story mode. Arcade mode was just from one fight to another. Okay, so fighting myself first.
For the sake of all humanity, don't make me hurt.
Oh, okay. Aerial movement is not super smooth. You can't really, if you jump straight up, you can't then move to the side. You gotta jump at a 45-degree angle or nothing. Okay. There's more verticality than I was expecting. The square, this aspect ratio makes everything look really tight. Not having widescreen yet, so it's nice that they can go up, make the screen higher. But yeah, still just kind of guessing here as to the moves, because I am not going to go through that tutorial in full with every character. That's going to be very time consuming. Okay, come on.
A clean victory.
I gotta keep going. Best 2 out of 3. Makes sense. More of a modern, or a convention that is stuck with modern fighting games, where you gotta get best 2 out of 3. For Marvel vs. Capcom, that was not the case, because it was already a 3-on-3 fight, swapping back and forth between characters, so that just stayed. You beat them and you beat them. You don't have to do best 2 out of 3. It's interesting that if you fight yourself first, that's usually something I feel like this sort of game would reserve for later. You fought everyone else, now you have to fight someone who knows everything you know, sort of thing. Like the Dark Link in Ocarina of Time, or I feel like it's a lot less impressive. I feel like Mortal Kombat's done that sort of thing. You just fight a palette-swapped version of your own character. Now, if this is also in the danger room, that will be disappointing. Gotta get some more environments. Yep, that's different.
For the sake of all humanity.
Gonna bleed ya.
A lot of this is still, you pick up some patterns of like, okay, here's how you do this move, this combo. Maybe it's just because I'm not a big Street Fighter, 2-person fighter game guy. It still feels like button mashing the whole time, really. Like, yeah, just picking up some patterns and then not really thinking once the gameplay starts. Trying to luck my way into a special move, basically.
You've got a long way to go.
Now, I wonder... No, that was thinking maybe if I paused it there would be a moves list or something, but no such luck. One thing I've noticed so far is the games do have a comic accurate height Wolverine. He's a little guy. Don't know how I countered, but apparently I can do that. It's like a breakdancing move, half the stuff he's doing. The problem with some of these older fighting games is that, you know, if you don't know the character intimately, then it's a lot of button mashing. You gotta, you know, train as one character, pick a main, basically, and then it can be, you know, a fun exercise in using all their different abilities. But with this, with doing sort of the button mashing, it is going to get old fast. I don't know how long this arcade mode is going to be. There were like 10 characters to choose from, right? So possibly 10 rounds of this. There could be some hidden bosses. Some of these games will do that sometimes. And it's just going to be, you know, me doing the same 5 moves over and over again to try to fight them.
Don't make me hurt.
Gambit level in the Bayou, though. That's good. I was hoping there would be like an actual story. I thought there was supposed to be a story between the fights here, but it's just kind of, well, that sounded bad, but I hope they don't do that for every special move from every person. Just like a lightning strike, thunderclap. Feels like cheating. Just kind of cheese him from a distance, but now that's one move I know I can do.
You've got a long way to go.
He said after desperately shooting him with his laser. Okay, well, yeah, when every time you hit a special move on accident, there's a decent chance it's not even going to hit. That's no fun. Ooh, that was close.
Losing's not my style.
Wow. Well, this is not going well. Yeah, okay, maybe I should have done the training for, you know, a little bit for Cyclops. Okay, yeah, he's I guess he got angry after that first round. Because I am about to get my ass handed to me. Whew.
Dealer wins. Not your day.
Okay. Oh. Did not actually mean to do that. I want to try a different character.
Don't make me hurt.
You ready to play with Gambit?
Probably not going to finish an arcade mode run of this at that rate, but I can at least try most of the characters. Some of them are going to be locked. I believe they are bosses you fight in the game, at least according to Wikipedia, which don't really know what distinguishes a boss character from any other character, because it seems like it's implying they're still playable if they are in the character select screen.
Gambit.
Let's try Gambit. Okay, so Cyclops is first no matter what, so it wasn't fighting a copy of yourself, it was just fighting Cyclops. So there wasn't a whole lot of intentionality, it seems, with this this arcade mode.
Let's do this by the numbers.
So it is satisfying when you get a counter in, even if it's basically luck on my part, at least. Just trying some of the possible card throwing. I thought Gambit would have some cool moves, but they do not feel as intuitive as Cyclops or Wolverine. Yeah, the movement is not as smooth in this as it is in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which came out earlier, but was for the more advanced systems. Marvel Capcom was on PS2 right from the start. This one's PlayStation 1 and Game Boy Color. Also, is there's a version of this which can't imagine is too much better. Would definitely be a different aesthetic, but yeah, the art in this is not as nice as in Marvel Capcom, even though, or not even though, it's because they are going for 3D in this, and that was still something games were getting the hang of. Whereas the 2D sprites for Marvel vs. Capcom just still age well, because that's an art form that was, pretty well done. I guess pixel-based art was still relatively not new. I mean, it had been around for decades at this point, but 2D art just tends to survive better than 3D art so far. 2D animated movies are often timeless. I don't know how much more I can play this one. This one's not very fun. Gonna be honest.
Let's have some fun.
Granted, with any of these fighting games, like, clearly the point of them is to have a friend play with you. A little fun couch, not couch co-op, but, you know, couch fighting game. Before the days of online play. Just have some friends over to play X-Men Mutant Academy.
Dealer wins. Not your day.
Nope. Alright, well. My, controller? Nope. Here we go. Disconnected for a second. So, can I come back from that? Seems unlikely.
Amateur.
Maybe I have the hand of doing a counter, which could be useful, especially anytime they do a special move where there's just such a build up, like you have so much time to react to a special move happening. Doesn't seem to have like the standard block function like a lot of fighting games do of just holding back. I'm able to hold my bar up to do that block and counter, but that's a holding back and circle and triangle.
Pick a card. Pick a card.
Is that a coincidence, or did they only make one intro quote for every character? Oh boy. See, I wish I could do that. That would be nice. At least I get the normal default color palette for my character when I'm facing off against myself. Marvel Capcom does the opposite for some reason. Yeah, not looking good for getting past Gambit. do wonder how much of this is just me not being, you know, super well versed in fighting games. It's not really my typical style. Or, you know, how much of it is the old habit of video game companies to, like, make their games especially hard so that you know, put more quarters in the arcade or have to rent the game a second time if that's what you're doing. But that could just maybe be me coping with not being very good at this game or this type of game.
Losing's not my style.
Yeah. Alright, I mean, I'll try all the characters, but I feel like it's going to be a similar pattern of I can get to Gambit, but I can't get past Gambit.
Storm.
Ooh, so she gets to fly in.
Don't make me hurt you.
I do feel like her character model is even worse than the other characters, though. I don't know, she looks like kind of like even blockier, and none of them look good to begin with. Okay, so I can throw little lightning balls, figure that much out. Is that just the regular grab throw? Yeah, I guess so. Ooh. Alright.
We will steady find peace.
Even when they're staying still, I just barely stand a chance against them. Kind of just funny that they have all these drop kicks in this sort of game. It feels like it makes sense in Street Fighter, like Zangief and Dhalsim, they do these just big flying leap drop kicks. That's part of their fighting style. The X-Men doesn't really seem like a thing they do. They're usually focused on their powers, unless there's like, I don't know. It depends on the the comic artist and what story, but I feel like X-Men combat is usually not so flying kick heavy. He took an Aurora to the knee.
Feel the fury of the storm.
Does adamantium conduct electricity, I wonder? Okay, so that went over him one of the times, didn't it? He's like, it's like picking Odd Job and GoldenEye. Like, you're just going to be harder to hit. So I guess it's good that they made the AI not super aggressive.
Reap what you sow.
But yeah, is adamantium, does it conduct electricity? That's what I'm curious about. I feel like I'll bet there's comics that say it both ways. That, you know, it's a perfect insulator, so it doesn't conduct anything. Or, oh, here's another comic where, you know, Wolverine stabs into an electrical wire, like in, did you do that in the last movie, I thought? Maybe, I don't know. To, like, bridge a gap, bridge a circuit or something. Like, I can see that being a plot point. Kick to the face.
Reap what you sow.
Here we go again.
Feel the fury of the storm.
Let's have some fun.
There for a drink.
Just trying to move as fast as I can. Just hammer on him until he is no more. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Actually, is Gambit's staff supposed to be adamantium or vibranium or something so that he can energize it with his energy without it exploding? Because that would also make sense. I mean, you know, at least from a comic perspective of it having to be special metal. Wondering if the clack of my buttons as I button mash are even coming through on the microphone. There is something very satisfying about dodging someone's charged up special move in a fighting game. Well, looks like Storm is my secret weapon all along. So now we get to see who's next.
May your spirit find peace.
Well, alright. Storm on a storm.
Winds, hear my cry. They call me Storm.
Okay, so they do have a couple voice options, a couple line options at least for character intros. Okay, this is... Their color palettes are technically different, but I guess, yeah, the other Storm has more of a full body suit. That does help. Did not think I was going to get that. Alright. So I'm not sure why Storm gets fucking subway tunnel level. Sewers
Reap what you sow.
under the subway, really. So that sucks. Like, this looks like someplace Batman would be, like, perching on one of the gargoyles in Arkham City. It's an insult to Storm. It's not obvious from the way I am moving in this game. The movement is just not very smooth, not very fluid. Using the D-pad instead of having a stick does not work super well. Alright, well I'm killing it as Storm apparently. Beast, okay. Finally something new. On a helicarrier. Interesting.
They call me Storm.
Oh no. I was worried he was just going to be on his hands by default. And so now, see, the problem is, now that Beast's here for the first time, I'm curious to see his moves, but I also don't want him to kick my ass. Not that that's any sign of talent. Yeah, these are not thrilling fights to watch. I'll try. It might be the only character I have left that I can choose to play as right now is Phoenix. So I'll give her a shot at least. But otherwise, whenever I lose this arcade run, that's probably gonna be my final try, so... Maybe I won't need to, actually, because she might be the next fight. We'll see.
May your spirit find peace.
And there she is. Those costumes are just painted on. Are we on the moon? We appear to be on the moon. Okay.
My will is strong.
Oh God, that was like a real tinny voice line. Some of the special moves don't really seem to do much. Okay, apparently Storm is confused there for a second. I was going opposite direction I wanted her to. Not sure how long it was in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but I think they had a shorter round time limit in that game. But I guess could also be that when you have 3 characters on a team, it doesn't feel as long as it is, and it's about 3 times as long to get them all down.
Reap what you sow.
Why do we have to fight? Yeah, okay, that's... Okay, well I think she's got me this time. Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
The dream will never die.
It's hard to get a hit in sometimes. I'd like to do that some more. There we go. Well,
The dream will never die.
now will it let me... Yeah, I can retry. Okay. I'll try one more time, just because I got twice as far or more with the storm than I did with anyone else.
My will is strong.
Just one hit. One hit. Hooray. Hey, look at that. Okay, well. I'm not entirely sure how to do one grab versus the other still. Is there a community for this game? Is there are there competitions to this day of who can play Mutant Academy the best? Up there with Smash.
From the ashes, victory.
Yeah, victory. Come on. That was the damn confusion thing. Okay. I don't care for it. That's fine, though. Well, I tried.
None can withstand the phoenix.
So I think we've at least seen all the characters I can play as. I didn't play as Phoenix or Beast yet, but saw their movesets. These four are locked. Versus mode. What is survival mode, I wonder? I'll at least see that. They showed Juggernaut on a comic book cover, but guess they don't have him in the game. Maybe he was in another version. Okay, so this is survival mode, which is different in some way. Am I just gonna have to... Is she gonna be replaced as soon as I defeat her or something? Because there's no track of best 2 out of 3 this time. Assuming I can even win.
This contest is over.
Okay. That seemed close. Oh, Magneto. So at least we get to see someone else. But I still have the same amount of health as I left off with. So, Yeah, this won't last long. Oh. I'm putting up a fight. It's technically not over yet. Yeah, I wonder who won that one. Okay, so survival mode is for if you just totally mastered this game. Huh. Huh. Now why does Storm have 1 point? Got farther as her, but okay. Well, I think that's... Yeah, what were the metrics for unlocking videos? Locked. There's just locked. Ah, okay. Win an arcade match with every movie character. Just a match. I mean, that's with every comic character. That's doable, except if Magneto and Sabretooth, if all the villains are not unlocked yet, and I still don't know how to do that. Do I just have to beat them in the arcade? Not sure. But... okay. Yeah, just more videos. Yeah, not a lot offered there. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it quits for X-Men Mutant Academy and pick up next time with Spider-Man.